When I picked up the phone that night, I thought my lawyer was calling to chat about estate papers. But what he told me instead shattered my faith in family forever. Beat pause, sound of a faint ticking clock. This isn't just a story about money. It's about trust, how it can be weaponized, how it can be destroyed, and how one man found justice in silence. If you've ever trusted someone completely, only to realize they saw your kindness as weakness, this story will stay with you. Hit that like button, subscribe, and get ready for one of the most hauntingly beautiful revenge stories you'll ever hear. The scent of cedar still lingered in my closet, faint and familiar, like a memory that refused to fade. At 68, I had learned to live with silence. It filled every corner of my house, from the empty kitchen where my wife once hummed while she cooked, to the hallway where our laughter used to echo. I straightened the knot on my navy blue tie, Eleanor's favorite. She used to say it matched the silver in my hair. Now 2 years after she passed, it was just me, the tie, and the ghost of a life that used to be warm. Friday dinners with my daughter Jessica had become the last ritual that tethered me to something human. She insisted I come over every week. "You need family, Dad," she'd say. And I did. Or at least, I thought I did. That evening, as I reached for my jacket, my phone buzzed. The name on the screen, Sam Carter, my lawyer and old friend. 5 words. "Don't leave the house. Call me now." My stomach tightened. Sam wasn't a man who panicked. I called immediately. His voice, when he answered, was calm. Too calm. "David," he said, "are you alone?" "Yes, I was just heading out. What's wrong?" "Then sit down." Something in his tone made my knees weak. I sat on the bench near the door, staring at Eleanor's photograph, her smile forever frozen in time. "I reviewed your financial statements," Sam continued. "The ones Jessica's been sending you." I frowned. "They're fine, Sam. She handles the reports now." "David, those documents are fake." The air went out of the room. "Over the past 2 years," Sam said, "someone's been draining your retirement accounts, your brokerage, your savings, everything. Nearly $3 million. Gone." The silence was deafening. My first thought wasn't about the money. It was Jessica, the little girl who used to sit on my shoulders at the park, the young woman I walked down the aisle, the person who promised she'd handle things after her mother died. "That's impossible," I whispered. "Only I have access." Sam hesitated, then softly, "You and whoever holds your power of attorney." The floor seemed to shift beneath me. He didn't need to say the name. I already knew. "Jessica. She's been siphoning your life's work, David. I'm sorry." My breath turned shallow. The house, once a sanctuary, now felt like a cage. How could my daughter, my only child, steal from me? Memories turned into knives. Her voice last year. "Don't worry, Dad. I'll manage your portfolio." Her reassurance. "You're too tired for all this paperwork. Let me handle it." Her laughter as she waved off questions. Every kind word had been a lock, closing me inside the prison of her lies. Sam's voice pulled me back. "You can't let her know you know," he warned. "Go to dinner like nothing's wrong. Smile. Let her believe she's safe. We'll trace the money, but for now this is a war, and she doesn't know it started." I stood slowly, gripping the phone. My reflection in the mirror looked older, smaller. But beneath the grief, a new clarity flickered. I wasn't just a father anymore. I was a man who had been robbed of everything, and I was about to build a bridge out of the wreckage. "Understood," I whispered. "The performance begins now." Jessica's house gleamed like a museum, all marble floors, glass walls, and luxury so loud it mocked modesty. When I pulled into the driveway, the gates opened silently. Her husband, Tom, greeted me with a wide grin. David, always great to see you. His sweater alone was worth a month of my pension. Inside, everything was curated to perfection, from the chandelier that looked like falling stars to the faint scent of lilies. And there she was, my daughter. "Dad," she sang, sweeping toward me in a silk dress. "You made it." She hugged me, briefly, politely. A performance, not affection. Her bracelet, diamonds, pressed coldly into my back. "You look tired," she said, her eyes scanning me like a doctor examining a specimen. "You're okay, right?" "Just a long week," I murmured. She smiled, warm to the eye, icy to the soul. We sat down to dinner. She poured wine. I took water. Her conversation was all sparkle and self-congratulation, new clients, luxury projects, Tom's new Porsche. "It's been a big year for us," she said, raising her glass. "To success." Each word was another twist of the knife. Every bite of food tasted like betrayal. Midway through the meal, her tone softened. "Dad, I've been reviewing your investments again," she said. "I think we should move your funds into something safer. You're too trusting, and I just want to protect you." "Protect me?" I almost laughed. She wasn't protecting me. She was protecting her cover. But I smiled. "You're right, sweetheart. I trust you completely." Her eyes lit up, just slightly. And that's when I knew. She still believed she was untouchable. That night after I got home, I didn't cry. I sat in the dark and planned. At dawn, I called Sam. He already had a plan, one precise enough to make an engineer proud. "Phase 1, he said, information warfare. Phase 2, the trap. We'd gather proof, track every transfer, and make her believe she still had control." He brought in Chloe, a forensic accountant with eyes like steel and a voice that didn't waste words. "Your daughter's using shell companies," she explained. "One in particular, Elysian Designs LLC. From there, the money goes into a failing resort project in Mexico." My jaw clenched. So they weren't just greedy, they were desperate. Then came Sam's plan. "We'll bait her," he said. "Leak that you're thinking of selling the house. It's her endgame, the one asset she can't lose. She'll panic, overreach. That's when she falls." And so the performance continued. I called my daughter midweek, pretended confusion, asked about insurance forms. She arrived that afternoon, fussing like a nurse tending a patient. "Dad, don't worry, I'll take care of it." Every "don't worry" was another string she tied tighter around my neck. When she left, I smiled. The next act was set. At lunch with my old friend Arthur, the town gossip, I sighed dramatically. "Arthur, I think I might sell the house. It's just too much for one old man." By sunset, Jessica knew. Her call came that evening, frantic. "Dad, Arthur told me you're selling. You can't. That's Mom's house, that's—" But her voice trembled with something else. Panic. I played my part perfectly. "I'm just tired, honey. Maybe a small condo in Arizona." "No, Dad, please. Let's talk about it. Don't do anything rash." She hung up unsettled, exactly as planned. The next day, Chloe confirmed what I'd suspected. The resort in Mexico was bleeding money. Jessica and Tom needed a bailout. My house was their salvation. 2 days later, she called again. "Dad, we're nearby. Can we stop by? I have something to show you about your finances." My heart raced. This was it. Before they arrived, I placed a tiny recording device, no larger than a sugar cube, inside the birdhouse Eleanor had loved. It had the perfect view of the living room. They came dressed like royalty, calm smiles, rehearsed sincerity. They opened a folder of graphs and charts. "Dad, selling now would be foolish," Jessica cooed. "You'd lose thousands." I pretended to squint. "Oh, I don't understand all that. I just want a simple life." Her mask slipped for a second, a flicker of irritation. When logic failed, she played the emotional card. "Think of Mom. How could you sell the home she built?" The words were acid in my ears. "Let me make us some tea," I said, standing slowly. In the kitchen, I listened from behind the wall. Tom's whisper, "He can't actually sell, right? The investors are breathing down my neck." Jessica's reply was venom. "He's confused. If he pushes this, I'll prove he's unfit. We'll get conservatorship. Then everything's ours." My breath caught. She wasn't just stealing from me. She was planning to erase me. I gripped the counter until my hands shook. Then I smiled, because the recorder had caught every word. Days later, Sam called. "She filed it," he said flatly. "A petition to have you declared incompetent." She'd taken the bait. Her lawyer painted me as a frail old man, forgetful, delusional, a danger to my own finances. They brought friends to testify, investors from Tom's failed project. They even hired a doctor to say I was confused. But Sam didn't fight with fury. He fought with precision. He called Dr. Evelyn Reed, the psychiatrist who'd evaluated me. Her voice was calm, factual. "Mr. Miller's mind is sound. His decision-making is rational. He is entirely capable." The courtroom murmured. Then came Chloe. With each slide on the projector, she dismantled Jessica's empire, tracing every stolen dollar, every false report, every luxury purchase that lined up perfectly with my missing funds. And finally, the audio. Jessica's voice, cold and merciless, filled the courtroom. "We need a conservatorship. It's the only way to protect the family." You could have heard a pin drop, her own words, her undoing. Sam let the silence linger before turning to the judge. "This is not the voice of a concerned daughter," he said. "This is the voice of a thief." But he wasn't done. He presented the final piece, the forged insurance document. Chloe had found it. A life insurance amendment changing the beneficiary from Leo's trust to Jessica. A handwriting expert confirmed what we already knew. It wasn't Eleanor's signature. Jessica hadn't just stolen from me. She'd stolen from her dying mother, from her own son. Tom stared at her, realization dawning like horror. And Jessica, the polished professional, the perfect daughter, broke. Her sobs filled the room. The judge's verdict came like thunder. "The petition is denied. Effective immediately, all of Jessica and Tom's assets are frozen pending criminal investigation. This court recognizes the respondent, Mr. Miller, as fully competent and as the victim of elder financial abuse." It was over. Months later, the sun was warm again. I was in the garden, kneeling in the soil Eleanor once loved. The roses were blooming. Leo came out, taller now, older than he should have had to be. I handed him a sealed envelope. "Your grandmother wanted you to have this," I said. He unfolded the papers. The Leo Carter Educational Trust, restored, untouched, his future safe. He looked at me, eyes glistening. "Thank you, Grandpa." I smiled. "No, kiddo. Thank your grandmother. She always wanted you to grow in light, not in shadows." As he hugged me, I looked toward the sky. For the first time in years, the silence in my heart wasn't empty. It was peaceful. Sometimes revenge doesn't roar, it whispers. It's not about rage. It's about reclaiming what was taken, with truth as your only weapon. Justice isn't loud, it's quiet. But when it comes, it's absolute. If this story hit you right in the heart, hit that like button and tell me, what's the coldest act of poetic justice you've ever seen? And subscribe, because our next story will remind you. Even in silence, justice has a voice.